Hey there, Curtis here from SuperSend. Today I just want to give you an overview of the platform. What I've got up on screen is we're starting just on our campaigns dashboard. This is where you would manage all of your campaigns. One thing that I would note here is we do have different workspaces. So for example, if you want to work with different clients, if you're using the platform like maybe as an agency owner, you could have clients siloed, or maybe if you have separate teams like within your organization, within your business, you could have siloed teams. But today we'll just work in one of our workspaces. And so you can see here I've got all of our campaigns. But before we dive into a campaign, I want to walk you through sort of what a customer would do when they're first using SuperSend. So aside from like the onboarding that would happen when you sign up, we'll walk you through every single step to get from, signing up to like having a successful campaign. But just like a broad overview, the first place that we want customers to always go is they need to add their senders, right? And so a sender to us could be an email inbox. It could be a LinkedIn profile or a Twitter profile. And I'll show you in a minute how we sort of use all three of those together in what we call a sender profile. What we have here is just our list of inboxes that we have connected for this team. So SuperSend at its core is a cold email platform, and we've layered on those multi-channel elements. And so this gives you a really comprehensive sort of like cold outreach multi-channel platform. We're doing things in SuperSend like email warm-up, domain and health score, ensuring that domains are set up correctly. So you have sort of those pieces for the cold email piece that's going to help you really send it like a decent volume and stay within those sort of safety limits. But what we're doing with these inboxes, we're also rotating them, and we're also rotating them within a profile, and then we're rotating sender profiles, which I'll show you in just a second. So adding senders is pretty easy. In the platform, you're going to pick a profile that you want a sender to be attached to, and then you're going to add any number of inbox providers that we work with, and we work with them all. So anybody you choose out there can be imported into SuperSend. If you're a customer that really just needs like full technical setup, we also sell inboxes and domains within SuperSend and actually handle all of the technical setup for a lot of our customers. So if the technical side of cold email has been scaring you, come over to SuperSend. Like we'll make sure that's all set up for you, and we'll always make sure that you're landing in the inbox. And if you're not, we'll make sure to trade out inboxes and keep an eye on everything. So the other senders that we can add are Twitter profiles and LinkedIn profiles. I don't have any in this particular team, but you would want to connect like maybe your salespeople's profiles or whoever's doing that outreach to give sort of that cohesive approach. And we would manage profiles within the sender profile. So as an example, you can kind of see here, just as an example, we've got a sender, this is what a Twitter would look like. And I'll just show you real fast. If I come over to this team here and I come into senders, you can see I've got some profiles that we're actually leveraging here. And this is sort of what a fully baked profile might look like. Many email boxes, maybe a LinkedIn profile connection, and Twitter if we're working with that. So we'll go back to this team here. Want to dive into what does a campaign look like? So we can look for, these are pretty simple campaigns that I've got run here, but you can get pretty complex. So I'll jump into a campaign, and I first land on sort of the campaign dashboard. Gives you lots of different charting and kind of reporting capabilities. Let me just pull a date range here. This campaign's not running anymore, but if you were to pull charting and data, this is kind of what this stuff would look like, and you can really kind of get granular on all the different metrics that matter for you. As you come down here, we start to like give you information about campaign activity and sender profiles and what's connected and distribution of contacts within profiles. And then you always have sort of your stats on steps or A/B variants. You have table and flow view, right? And so I'll show you why flow view matters here in just a second. But this main dashboard just gives you everything you need to kind of handle the reporting side of your campaigns. When you jump into sequences, we do sequences in two ways. This right here you're seeing is our complex sequence builder. We also have a simpler version, which is not the drag and drop sort of interface you see here. So it's really up to you. You can do both. The main difference, you can do one or the other or both, whatever you need. The difference is in a sequence that's complex like this, really we give you the ability to do if else or if then style logic, right? Maybe you want to send a contact down path A or path B, like based on some action that happens. And then obviously from a multi-channel perspective, you can add, email, LinkedIn, Twitter events, actions, various actions included in a single sequence. So lots of power to do some really complex stuff there. So we've gone over just adding senders. That's obviously the main component. Like we're the sort of logistics layer, if you will, of like managing all of those, whether there's email, LinkedIn, Twitter. The next piece is we're running those sequences or those campaigns. In campaigns, just keep in mind you have, contacts, you have a sequence, and then you have your dashboard. And then you also have your replies inbox, right? So you have campaign level inbox, which gives you email and LinkedIn from an inbox perspective, or you have team level replies inbox, again, from email and LinkedIn. So, if you're tracking many LinkedIn profiles, if you're using many inboxes across multiple campaigns, you can view that sort of inbox from a couple different angles. That's pretty much the main use cases for SuperSend. Again, we're a multi-channel outreach platform. We have a lot of integration capabilities. So a lot of our customers are using things like Clay from a list building perspective, or Freckle. And so we can integrate with those platforms to have contacts and different data points enter SuperSend. So you can get have very customized data points entering SuperSend to make your campaigns really awesome. And then on the backside, kind of extra, going out the other side of SuperSend, many integrations with different, things like Slack, CRMs, and then Zapier Make to go wild, go with any of those other integrations that those guys support. And then we have a customizable webhook. So any custom variable you're adding into SuperSend can be exported via webhook into whatever other platforms, something like N8N or something like that. So very integration friendly from our perspective. So hope this overview was like a good just first bite at how to use SuperSend and kind of like what it is. If you have questions, reach out to us, and hope you have a super day. Thank you.